Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jeff coming to you live from the commentary box where we're witnessing what could be a defining moment in Daniel Bourne's racing career. After a series of, shall we say, eventful races that have left his safety rating in tatters, Bourne sits there in P17, hands gripping the wheel with determination. You can almost feel the pressure emanating from his cockpit as he prepares for what he hopes will be his redemption race. Up front, we have the formidable Faruqa Baruchin leading the pack, with Ruben Jimenez breathing down his neck. But my eyes, dear viewers, are firmly fixed on Bourne. Will this be the day he finally breaks his curse of chaos? The tension in the paddock is absolutely palpable.
You know, Jeff, Bourne's starting position actually highlights a fascinating strategic dilemma. Starting P17 could give him clean air, but he's surrounded by aggressive midfield drivers. I'd love to see him work the outside line through turn 1. It's been surprisingly grippy today.
And they're off! The roar of engines fills the air as 25 GT3 machines hurtle towards turn 1 like angry hornets. Oh my goodness! Drama already as Bullard gets a cheeky tap from Rasha in turn 1. The Ash driver goes wide, kicking up dust and gravel, but somehow manages to keep that magnificent machine pointing in roughly the right direction.
Brilliant save by Bullard.
Oh, absolute carnage unfolding before our eyes. Golfieri's stricken vehicle has become a magnet for disaster, with Zwilsdorf plowing straight into him like a heat-seeking missile. And what's this? A rogue hubcap has turned into an airborne projectile, smashing through Zwilsdorf's windshield. This is precisely the sort of chaos Bourne is desperate to avoid today, and I must say, the racing gods are certainly testing everyone's mettle early in this one.
Jeff, this early carnage shows why qualifying positions are crucial at Watkins Glen.
The radio waves are absolutely crackling with tension, folks. Reed's voice cuts through. Hey Bourne, you're taking up space that could be used by a real driver. Why don't you go back to racing your grandmother's mobility scooter? Bourne showing unusual restraint response. Coming from someone who couldn't qualify ahead of me. Maybe focus less on your mouth and more on your driving. Reed fires back. Just wait till I catch you, mate. I'll show you what real racing looks like. Bourne's voice rises an octave. Like your last 3 races where you ended up in the gravel. That kind of real racing. The exchange continues. At least I have the courage to fight for positions, sneers Reed. Bourne's final retort drips with sarcasm, and I have the intelligence to finish races. Let's see which serves better today. Oh my word, the tension is absolutely electric. These two have clearly been saving up their grievances for this very moment.
Jeff, I'm utterly embarrassed for both of them. Here we are at one of racing's most prestigious circuits, and these two are acting like teenagers in a school cafeteria. Bourne's comeback about the mobility scooter was about as weak as his qualifying pace. If I were him, I'd have said, Reed, the only thing more consistent than your crashes is your ability to blame everyone else for them. But let's be honest, neither of these drivers should be wasting radio bandwidth with this playground nonsense. Reed's sitting back there with tire temperatures higher than his IQ, and Bourne's defending his position like he's guarding his lunch money. You know what would be really impressive? If either of them put this energy into studying their telemetry data. I mean, look at Bourne's brake bias settings. They're completely wrong for these track conditions. And Reed, maybe focus less on trash talk and more on why you're losing 3/10 in Sector 2 alone. Absolutely amateur hour from both of them.
Hot as the dust settles from that riveting radio exchange, Bourne seems to be finding his rhythm in P13, and I must say, there's a distinct air of smugness emanating from his cockpit. He's managing to keep his nose clean, which is more than can be said for some of our earlier casualties. The way he's threading that car through the circuit, you'd think he's finally found that elusive sweet spot between aggression and control. Though in my experience, pride often comes before a rather spectacular fall in motorsport.
Bourne's finding his rhythm now. His sector times are consistent, and he's masterfully managing that delicate balance between pace and preservation.
What a spectacular development in our running order, ladies and gentlemen. Jimenez has muscled his way to the front, demoting the early leader Baruchin to second. But the real story is still unfolding in the midfield, where Bourne is desperately holding on to P13, with Reed stalking him like a hungry lion. The tension is absolutely unbearable as these two bitter rivals continue their high-speed chess match.
Exceptional racecraft from Jimenez, showing exactly how it's done. Bourne, on the other hand, is giving us a masterclass in what not to do. The telemetry tells the whole story here, Dave. His defensive lines through turn 1 are simply incorrect. He's consistently missing his marks, and
disaster strikes! Reed's car slams into Bourne's rear, sending him careening into the unforgiving wall! Bourne's car launches skyward in a spectacular aerial display, tumbling through the air!
Catastrophic contact, major implications for championship.
The scene in the pits is absolutely electric, folks. Ah! Bourne has stormed in, his face as red as his mangled race car. He's practically wrestling with his radio button. That was a deliberate takeout. I want every steward looking at that footage now. Bourne's gesticulating wildly in the pit box. And if I were a betting man, I'd say those Italian hand gestures aren't expressing his love for pasta. The FIA judges, who've apparently taken a break from their usual duties, have awarded Bourne's spectacular aerial performance a perfect 10.